everybody, I'm at ISE Barcelona 2026, and I'm really excited because I'm standing here with Jose from Imaginario on what is really exciting for me because we just signed an agreement with Jose to bring Imaginario to the channel in the US. So I thought, hey, we better start telling you what this product is and what it does. So let's get it from the man, the myth, the legend himself. Jose, how are you?
Hey Nick, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm so excited to have you guys as part of the JB&A family.
Well, likewise, we're so happy to be part of the family.
This is going to be a lot of fun. Your product, since the first time you all started reaching out saying, hey, here's this thing, look at it. I was like, okay, this is interesting. Because AI, I think we're still at the beginning of AI and what AI can do. But you've done such a great job of wrapping it up into a complete tool that people can actually use versus try and figure out how to adapt to. How did you get to this point with the product?
Yeah, so first of all, the main problem that we're tackling is the one of having to rewatch raw footage or finished content to repurpose content. So let's say you have a ton of dailies or rushes coming from production. You want to get to that rough cut as fast as possible. Or you have finished content, you want to get and create those promos, those social media cuts as fast as possible. And we emphasize on what it's called multimodal understanding. So that's understanding videos down to shot level and scene level in a very extremely granular way.
Yeah, you were just showing me a moment ago some new features coming where you can actually break down long form content into scenes to give you more data on what's happening in the scene.
Correct. So essentially what we're doing here is that we can break every single piece of content into specific scenes and within those scenes into specific shots. And then be able to analyze characters, fictional characters, famous celebrities, but also any person. It could be, well, you're more famous than I am, but we can...
Not yet, but I'm working on it.
And then we're able to then find locations, have very rich, metadata-rich elements as well, that then you can use later, further downstream to create auto cuts, to create rough cuts, to ask questions, to create reports, and then tackle multiple use cases, not just in marketing, but also post-production, compliance, and more.
So let's talk about that a second, because I mean, first, you're here at ISE, which is traditionally an AV show, not a broadcast show, but you're showing off something that I would say is a very broadcast-centric or post-production-centric product. So why are you here at ISE?
Well, we're here because video is not just a remit of media anymore, right? Video is at the center of the internet. It's more than 82% of internet data is video. There are more than, I think it's around 17 billion hours of content recorded every single day, right?
That's crazy.
And this is not just broadcast and professional content. This is content recorded by corporations, by companies of all sizes. And this is impacting multiple verticals. And here at ISE, we're looking not just for content owners, but also for those integrators and resellers that can go and then sell our product and integrate our product into, world-class solutions. So
yeah, because there is an opportunity here if a customer has a MAM or a DAM or another system where you can generate metadata for them but you also have the ability to connect directly back to editorial with XML files so that editors can go into the cloud, make decisions, find content, and then pull that content down to their local projects.
Correct. So we have native integrations with all major storage systems, from Backblaze to AWS S3, Wasabi, Dropbox, Google Drive, and the list goes on, right? And then in terms of NLEs, we connect with Adobe Premiere, we connect with DaVinci Resolve, very soon with Avid Media Composer.
Nice.
So we're really agnostic in terms of storage systems, but also NLEs and other social media platforms. So we want to build this sort of intelligence layer on top of all of these traditional systems, including MAM systems, because MAM, they manage assets, but they don't understand assets. That's the main difference.
They're really good at tagging an asset and adding metadata via human, but that's about as far as they get. So this is where I think your product is very powerful, because to get a human to sit down and index all this content and draw inference to all these things happening would take days, even months, if not forever.
Correct.
You're doing this in a matter of sometimes hours.
Yes.
Right, and getting all this rich information about the content.
Correct. And also what we do is not just generate all that metadata automatically for then MAM systems or other systems to leverage that metadata, but also if you have specific taxonomies or categories or ways to name specific keywords and others, we can bridge that gap and then adapt that metadata to your own needs as well. And again, we go beyond indexation and labels. We also provide what is called contextual understanding, that it's a way to find moments that it's way more powerful than traditional tagging or what it's called fuzzy search based on tags.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You know, one of the things I enjoyed when I was inside the platform the first time was just being able to create my own sort of search algorithms, in the sense of like, hey, I've got a bunch of content in there, but I want it to find me in that content, so I can take a picture of myself, upload it, or pull it from the video, and then push that back in and use that. So it was a very easy way to train the AI, which through most platforms is much more complicated.
Correct. So right now, for instance, we're working on, today we can identify and extract all the main faces in every single piece of content, and then be able to identify who this person is after you name it once. You name it once and it propagates to the entire database, right? And now the next step is going to link that with voice as well. So that you can
interesting.
So then it doesn't matter if you're speaking, it wouldn't say speaker A or B. It will be able to identify your voice, identify your face, and do that in the timeline, right? So,
that's brilliant.
Yeah.
So let's talk about who this is for, because we talked about integration with NLEs and with different storage platforms, and that's where most of the content creators are going to live. But you've also got tools in here that I think are purpose-built for marketing people.
Correct.
Right? So, I love this, and I was explaining this to a customer earlier, is that you sort of sit in the middle and you give the reseller or systems integrator the ability to say, I'm going to start with editors and finish with marketing, or I can start with marketing and finish with editors, but you can sort of go both directions with both agencies within a company.
Yes, and today we work with like Fortune 500 companies, like with WBD, with NBC Universal, and others. And the reality is that sometimes the first deal that you get that you sign with these companies, it could be, as you say, marketing, or it could be post-production. Now, our experience is that really our platform is mostly made for video marketing teams, right? And corporate communications as well. That's because it's very simple to use. You can automate cuts for social media, generate compilations, multi-asset compilations. We have a very simple editor, no need to have editing skills. Whilst post-production, there is demand for this, like in high shooting ratio sort of genres, like reality shows or factual entertainment, where you're talking about shooting ratios of 100 hours of raw footage per hour.
Massive.
Content, right? Yeah. But it's not always the case as well, where sometimes editors working on feature films, they have many months to deal with that, so then there's less demand for that, right? So it really depends who you speak with in the post-production space.
Yeah.
Some people are more conservative, other editors are a bit more.
Well, if we think about
open.
like in the corporate world and in the rest of the world that's not live television post-production, the marketing people are the ones that are kind of sitting there at the end going, well, I really want just this segment and I want it vertical so I can publish it here. And to have to go to an editor to kind of craft that, get that piece pushed out, where they can just inside of your platform, mark inputs and outputs and export. You've given all these great tools there to sort of feed the marketing agency.
Yeah, because they have to feed the monster. Who's the monster here? TikTok, IG Reels, YouTube, LinkedIn, and others. Right? And they need to push content constantly. So they really have the time pressure, and this is where this sort of tool that can help you identify, curate, merge, create content faster, it's extremely valuable. Right?
Yeah. All right, so where do people go to get more info, and how do they get started with it?
Yeah, so they can go to Imaginario.ai, and just send us an email or fill in the form, and we can, of course, give you a demo, even a free trial. So.
Yeah, no, this is absolutely worth seeing, everybody, because I think this is sort of the future of MAMs and DAMs, and content aggregation is really the ability to know everything about your assets without having to go and sift through them and sort through them and do it manually. This sort of just does all the heavy lift that ordinarily would take way too much time. So very excited about this. Jose, very excited to launch this relationship with you and get this product out there. So hit the website, get more details, call your JB&A team, and we'll see you all later.